So Jasmine, she cool with them? Oh, should move us a little closer. She cool with us staying home also?
I don't think she would care.
Yeah. Damn, let me give you another pillow to sit on. I gotta get some more. Gotta get some more seating.
But I do the best I can as far as trying to make sure that I get them out and about.
True.
It's a little higher.
Can we get that down some? All right, yeah, that's good.
Talking about black wrestlers with a bunch of white women on the show. Go to Girls Bar.
Oh yeah, I love that show, man. One of them still living. Then Betty White, yeah,
she birthday today.
99. Damn. All right, we got 3 people on board already. Let's see. There we go. That's much better. Q, what's up, bro? Q reviews in the house. Thanks again for my intro, man. That shit was like, yo, that just added some spice to my channel, man. Gave it some kick. All right, so today we're gonna be talking about Black history and wrestling. Got cousin Jerome here. We talked about wrestling last time. Gave me a history lesson. So I say, why not talk about Black history and wrestling? You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
I guess I'm what you call now, like a casual wrestling fan. Yeah. Because the height of my wrestling fandom was like 80s and 90s. The 2000s, I just veered off and said, F it, But you're a historian, so I'm excited about this, man. I'm gonna learn something today.
Well, I'm like you, coming up watching it, man, and loving it. Yeah. But the thing of it now, I got boys, they're so into it now, so I can't help but keep up with it.
Right.
So it's exciting times, man. Exciting times.
All right, so I'm about to bookend this here, right? Then we're gonna go into the history of it. So from my knowledge, from the so-called narrative or whatever, the first Black champion, the first Black world champion was Ron Simmons in 93.
Ron Simmons. But there were some false champions.
Okay.
So, example, Butch Reed pinned Ric Flair, but something took place when they gave the switch and they gave Flair the belt back. And it was funny because a little bit of a deal because you saw the 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
But he never walked away. Was never acknowledged as world champion.
So that was like a Montreal screw job almost?
No. I think, I don't know if there's a bot somewhere in the process that I don't know. Or it could have been planned like that to make it look a certain way.
Right.
But Bush didn't leave with the championship, so.
Damn. Well, that had to do a lot with politics, right? Because there was really no Black champions.
Oh man, no, and you had some great Black guys.
Yeah,
you had and some of the guys mentioned before. You had Bobo Brazil, Sweet Daddy.
Who I've never heard of.
Bobo Brazil, that goes way back. Sweet Daddy Siki, I literally just found out about Sweet Daddy Siki. Oh man, probably a couple months ago. He's actually got a documentary on Amazon Prime you can watch.
I saw the trailer for that. Yeah, I got Prime. Yeah.
And so watching that, you love watching the history.
Z, what up, bro?
And just seeing, how they what they had to go through for a sport that they love and not get the equal credibility, equal pull as some of the other guys.
Now, the second cat, what's his name? Siki.
Sweet Daddy Siki.
Now I saw him. I couldn't help but see Savage. I saw Randy Savage. Like as far as like the costumes and the blonde hair and everything. Absolutely. Like you see, that was like the catalyst to a lot of the wrestlers that we know today.
Where do you think that's where his talking skills from?
Yeah,
Sweet Daddy
Siki.
And so he got Sweet Daddy Siki, and then you look at The Rock.
Yeah.
He was influenced by Sweet Daddy Siki. And so all these guys, and Rock grew up around the business, Rocky Johnson being his dad. So he grew up around the business and got to see firsthand.
Right.
And so he got to see things that you and me as casual fans, we just wouldn't know. Because he's up close and personal with those guys. He saw those guys work all the time.
Right.
It makes a difference. I'm a fan, but to grow up in the business like that, I mean, that the knowledge there is just impeccable.
Oh yeah. And now I'm thinking to myself, like I'm bugging, right? Because no diss to my pops, but when I watch wrestling with my pops, I never heard of these guys. Like at the time, the only Black wrestlers that I knew of was like Coco Beware and Junkyard Dog. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like those are like the only, Bad News Brown. Like those are the guys I knew about. Bobo Brazil, never heard of him.
Well, but you gotta think though, that was way before our time. Like my dad, he probably knew it. I never knew about it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But I know Bobo did come through Florida every so often because those guys jump territories all the time.
Yeah.
And so, but I guess me, like you, Junkyard Dog, and here's the funny thing about the dog. you know, a lot of people criticize Dog and they said Dog couldn't work.
Yeah, I heard a lot of them say that.
But when I tell you, somebody was over, holy smokes, he was by far.
Oh yeah.
You know, have thump on the back of his trunks, have nothing but the dust coming on. You know, he's coming to the ring.
Oh yeah.
You know, it was on, and so, you know, I don't want to get too far ahead, but you know, I stop right there.
Yeah, well, you know what? Watching his earlier work, because all this stuff is on YouTube. When I watched Dog's earlier work, like he was jacked, he was like in shape, and his work didn't look too bad to me. But then again, I'm not in the business, so I don't, you know, like to us, to the casual eye, it's like, man, that guy could wrestle. But then, you know, to the wrestler, man, his work is what they call it the shits, you know.
Right. But you know what I'm saying? You know, you got guys who can just make other guys look good.
Right.
In my eyes, Dog is still the bomb. I don't care what they say.
Oh yeah.
It is what it is.
Oh yeah.
You know, and like you say, he was at that time. I mean, we did have Ron Sickles. Ron was in Florida. We had Butch Reed. So we did have other blacks.
Right.
But because it was territory system, you didn't necessarily get to see them all the time. And so, like I said in the last one, I said, you know, some Saturdays you get these different territories popping up. Right. That's my first time seeing Booker T. They call it Ebony Experience, him and his brother. Before
before it's Harlem Heat, it was Ebony Experience.
It was Ebony Experience out in Global GWF.
Yeah.
So these guys, man.
Booker T.
Oh yeah.
Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga.
Yeah. And every time I watch it, I just laugh because he's just like, oh.
Yeah, like I messed up.
I'm fine.
You see Sherry, Sherry's like, you know, it's okay. It's okay.
It's all right, man. It's okay. But it's still hilarious no matter how many times I watch it.
But you know what's a bug out to me though, bro, is that, you know, I don't have the exact numbers as statistics, but I know growing up, you know, whatever black household you went to, like wrestling was a staple in everybody's household. You know, whether it be cousins, friends, your grandparents, your great aunties or uncles, everybody loved wrestling. Like the black audience was so huge for wrestling, but it's crazy because as much as we loved it, we didn't see a lot of people that looked like us, especially being champion.
No.
You know, as a kid, I just knew realistically, like I never gave much thought to it, but I knew Koko Beware and Junkyard Dog was never going to be champion. You know, it was Hogan, it was Flair. You know, we never saw people that looked like us on top, even though we loved the sport so much.
Depends on what you watch. See, you was up in New York.
Right.
I was here.
Right.
And so you had Norva Austin, who was partner of Sputnik Monroe, which we'll get into Sputnik Monroe in a little bit.
Okay.
Norva Austin,
and
him and Koko Beware, they're called PYT. They were Percy Pringle. And who did Percy Pringle turn out to be?
Percy Pringle. You got me on that one, bro.
Who? Paul Bearer.
Oh, Paul. Okay. Got you.
Back in the way, because Percy Pringle, he had PYTs. He had Ravishing Rick Rude was one of his guys at one time.
Yeah.
And so, but that's how I knew. And like, even though the PYTs were the bad guys, it was still Soul.
Right.
They come with the glove on. They come with the Michael Jackson Thriller jacket. Soul was Soul, and you just like seeing Soul. Yeah. And so it's funny, you know, but I think we're so drawn in to it because if you listen to these guys talk, right, they stole so much. If you look at a guy Thunderbolt Patterson,
right,
who was out of Georgia Championship Wrestling, you look at Thunderbolt, you look at Sweet Daddy Siki, and then you listen to Dusty Rhodes, and you see what Dusty pulled.
What you got from there?
From those guys,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Because here, let's be real. You got this curly hair, blue-eyed redneck who talks like a brother.
Yeah.
Where did we get that from?
Yeah, but the road they call me Babe Ruth, baby.
But somehow him, like being able to talk him into the place and talk him into the building, and just being like, you know, but he didn't just get up come knowing that. He had to learn that.
Right.
You know, he had to get into the business and kind of see, okay, man, they're reacting to this, they're reacting to that, and it was so, and it wasn't just white folk, you know, black folks he was drawing it. You know what I'm saying? Because he talked them all in it. White, black, yellow, blue, purple. Yeah. Because he was just a common man. Even though he came with the whole common man moniker, you know, with WWF. I mean, he was still just that common dude, you know, and think about it. You know, Dusty, in reality, I think Dusty was like 5'10" or something. I think I was probably about as tall as Dusty was. You know what I'm saying? But something about him, man, that brother, he, you know what I'm saying?
Well, he just had it, you know, he just had that it factor, you know.
But everything he had came from soul.
Yeah. Like Elvis.
Yeah. I mean, well, I ain't gonna talk about Elvis. It's funny with Elvis, because I remember Ray Charles watching, Ray Charles was like, Elvis.
Yeah.
Elvis ain't nobody. Basically what he said. He said, I need to just go on something. I'm going to make somebody mad. Say, Elvis wasn't nothing.
Yeah, I mean, well, facts. I mean, well, like Dusty, though, Elvis took from here and here, you know, the whole shaking the hips and the soul, and you know.
But I would say this about Dusty.
Yeah,
Dusty was pivotal in Ron Simmons becoming the first NWA World Champion.
Okay,
and so I think, and that's why I've always appreciated about Dusty.
Mm-hmm.
He gave back to where it came from.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Where he had a guy like Ole Anderson. Because truthfully, let's be real. Tony Atlas should have been world champion.
Oh yeah,
he had his
facts.
issues.
Facts.
Atlas should have been world champion. That dude was so hot, it wasn't even fun.
Because he was like a human freak. I mean, not a human, but he was like a live action like superhero, man. The guy had muscles on top of muscles, man.
Dude was jacked.
Yeah.
Wasn't the greatest talker. Wasn't the greatest talker.
Right.
But he can wrestle enough to get the people to want to see what he's gonna do.
Right.
And then he would do like the feats of strength things and all that stuff. You know, so all that stuff made a difference, man. And I would have loved for Tony, but truthfully, if you go further than that, Bobo Brazil should have been champion.
Okay, and I watched some of his stuff. Yeah.
You know, and he was so over, and he will wrestle guys like,
Sheik. I saw he had a match with
Sheik, but no, Bruno Sammartino is what I'm thinking of.
Okay.
So he wrestled those guys. But I got one for you. So when we're talking about Sweet Daddy Siki, you know, it's amazing how they loved him, but they hated him. His wife was white. That was a problem for a lot of the fans.
Oh.
And so Sweet Daddy Siki, he had you to go wrestle Buddy Rogers for the championship. Klans members were front with their guns saying he better not touch him. So basically all they did, and it was so tense coming in there. And so, and this is on Siki's documentary.
Right.
It was so tense going in there.
I'm gonna have to review that.
Siki, basically he got hit, he fell, and then they just cleared the ring out. Basically is what took place.
Wow.
So they wouldn't even allow him to even touch because back when black wrestlers first originally started, they only wrestled each other. They didn't wrestle white guys.
Oh, I've seen some of that. Yeah, in the
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's a problem. But here's the thing about it. But this is where guys like Dusty Rhodes or Bill Watts, and don't get me wrong. Let me be clear about this to everyone. I'm not saying that Dusty Rhodes, when it came to black wrestling, was a great emancipator. I am saying that he gave back.
Right.
Because that's where he took a lot from. But when you look at guys like Dusty Rhodes or Bill Watts, or even, let's go ahead and talk about Sputnik Monroe.
Okay, because I was thinking about that when you were talking about that.
Monroe, you know, he was pivotal for blacks to be in Memphis to be allowed to be down on the floor. Back in the day, blacks had to be up in the balcony, whites were on the floor. And it was funny because the balconies would be packed. But doggone, the floor be halfway empty.
And they had a name for it too. What do you call it?
Mowbray.
It was called Crow something.
Jim Crow.
Well, Crow's Nest. I'm talking about the balcony. They had a name for the balcony where the black folks had to sit at. Because I watched
me something now.
Yeah, well, because when you put me onto that today, I went to Jim Cornette. You know, because Jim Cornette, he's another historian.
And he loves Sputnik Monroe.
Yeah. So he gave the whole story, and I want to say he called it the Crow's Nest.
Yeah,
that was the name of the area. The balcony where the black folks had to sit at.
Right.
And but other than that, continue with the story.
It's funny to me. And so what Sputnik would do is he would go out. He'd hang in the black part of town, and so they would arrest him, and they give him charge called mopery. Which is the dumbest thing. Basically, why you hang out with these Negroes?
Right.
Basically, and he will go to jail, pay his fine, get out, and go right back. But what he would do in the process, he would give them tickets to come to the shows. And eventually, he got so much pull to he was like, "If the blacks can't sit on the floor with everyone else, I'm not wrestling."
Because he knew that was his biggest fan base.
He pulled them in, and now granted, when your back was full, but your floor wasn't. Now you got packed houses. Why? Because all the blacks came out. You know what I'm saying?
That's powerful. Yeah.
Look at Bill Watts in Mid-South. Why do you think Dog was so big? Because Dog pulled the black folks in. You know what I'm saying? Because at that time, you got to think about this, right? So you're talking segregation or coming just past segregation, where feelings are still hot, feelings are still heated. And so for a black man to be able to come down and watch a wrestling show on the floor next to a white man, that's huge.
That's very huge.
That's huge. No, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, you can call them all types of names in their mind.
Oh, yeah.
But they weren't going to waste their money. And I'm pretty sure you probably had some whites who quit coming. Yeah. But it didn't matter because the promoter didn't care. You know what? No cease was feeling. He got that money. And that's saying something. And that's why my respect for Sputnik Monroe is so strong, because he knew the power that he had.
Right.
And he used it in the right way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. I'm sure bringing more people in padded Sputnik's pockets.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a money game at the same time.
I'm sure that it did a little extra on his pocket.
I'm pretty sure if he wasn't profiting off of us colored folk, he wouldn't be as vocal about it.
I will say this. I will say it like this right here.
Yeah.
I would say that I would like to think he was doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do, and there just have to be benefits off of doing the right thing.
Okay, facts.
I would say it like
that. Facts. And Jerome, and it's crazy, bro, because like you say, like they know, as a business, as entertainers, your audience. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So they know that the black audience is down for this. But here's my thing. Okay, so like basketball was once a predominantly white sport. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But then they found out that black people could play a lot better. So therefore, they started drafting more black players. Mm-hmm. So now the NBA has become the conglomerate what it is. NFL, the same thing. MLB at one time, same thing. Not hockey, but most sports are dominated by black folks. Mm-hmm. All right. So black folks really help build the wrestling business. So why is it that we don't see more of us in the business as far as talent wise?
So I think you're starting to see a shift now.
Okay.
If you look at WWE now,
mm-hmm.
You got guys like Ricochet. You got guys like the Hurt Business. Those 4 guys, which is MVP, Cedric Alexander, Shelton Benjamin.
I heard of him. Yeah, because I'm like, who were those guys?
And, oh my God, I can't remember the 4th one. Bobby Lashley. No, I don't forget that. Okay. So you're seeing more prevalence. And they just got a new guy who's at NXT,
mm-hmm.
Leon Ruff. In his first match, beat Johnny Gargano for the North American title. He's already lost it.
Gotcha.
But Leon Ruff, a guy who you tell loves his brother,
mm-hmm.
look like me.
Yeah.
Skinnier, by my complexion.
Right.
But I'm glad my boys get to see that. And
mm-hmm.
see, because we saw Leon Ruff when he was wrestling in Tampa for FIP, or when
mm-hmm.
we see him wrestle for Evolve.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So we got to see him up close and personal.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I got a picture. As a matter of fact, I think I posted on my Facebook there with the boys taking a picture with Leon Ruff. And so now we're getting to see more color. If you look at AEW, mm-hmm. they got they're you got Private Party.
Okay.
You got Scorpio Sky. You know what I'm saying? So you got where we're starting to see more color,
right?
In the business. But now, when I say color, I'm not just talking black. I know we're dealing with blacks, but I'm talking about even a Hispanic.
Just even, yeah.
Because if you look at late '90s, early 2000s,
mm-hmm.
when luchador was a big thing. You look at WCW with their luchador, you had Rey Mysterio,
mm-hmm.
Rey Mysterio.
I was gonna say Conan. Does Conan count?
Conan, Psychosis, Juventud Guerrera.
Eddie Guerrero. Yeah, even Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
So you had all those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good because if you can get to where you get a wrestler who looks like them, you're going to draw them in.
Facts.
You just start. Because I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to say this, and people may look at me like I'm crazy when I say it. One of the nicest wrestlers I ever met, and this is the God honest truth,
mm-hmm.
was New Jack.
Okay. And who he has the worst reputation in wrestling. Yeah.
Probably one of the nicest guys I ever met when it came to me.
Wow.
So let me tell you, he wrestled here in Florida, in Sanford, matter of fact.
Yeah.
He wrestled a guy, Francisco Chiazza.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually a trainer for World Wrestling Network up in Port Richey. He's a trainer. And so after the match they wrestled, New Jack called Jarrell in the ring and gave him the shirt he had on.
Okay, that's what's up. Yeah.
He came back and wrestled again, and I was telling, I wanted to tell him, thank you, my son, blah, 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 blah. He, he talked to him for a second, you know what I'm saying? And it was cool.
Right.
He was like, oh, I remember you guys. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so he wasn't in character. No. He was actually like a real.
Just cool. And and my boys remembered it.
Okay.
Even to this day, my boys remember, how New Jack treated them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And so, they've seen the crazy side of New Jack too, because it's all on YouTube.
Yeah.
But in my eyes,
is that the same guy that we saw?
Yeah. He's, like I say, probably one of the nicest guys. And even going back to Leon Ruff, the love he has for this business and it shows.
Right.
The charisma he has in it shows.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's going to go far in this business.
Right.
And it's just stuff like that. And to see our guys starting to excel.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, we're not where we should be. And I get tired of the first thing people think when they think black, they think of The Rock. Yes, The Rock is true, but The Rock isn't the originator. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go back to Ron Simmons, but not even dealing with Ron Simmons. Let's go to the guys who should have been champions.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So now let's go back to talking about Memphis and Sputnik Monroe, right?
All right. Well, 1 second. This person commented, he said, and I forgot about this guy, Ahmed Johnson.
So, yes.
Ahmed. I was a big Ahmed fan.
But Ahmed messed himself up.
I heard about that.
Ahmed messed himself up. I was a fan of Ahmed. Nation of Domination.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he was destined to be world champion eventually.
Yeah, well, from what I heard from D'Lo Brown and The Godfather, like people that work with him, Vince McMahon pretty much gave him the belt on a silver platter and says, here, we want you to be a champion. And word on the street, he says, I ain't ready for that. Like, I'm good, you know.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
But WWF champion, NBA champion was different. Because WWF champion, yeah, you wrestled, but it wasn't like when you were NWA champion, you traveled. So and not granted, I know it's past territory times more or less,
right.
Not as many territories. When Flair wrestled, you know, the 300, I mean, you're talking about doing. So, you know, when you're talking, turn the volume on. When you're talking, you know, the schedule is huge. And a lot of those guys didn't want that. I remember watching an interview with Ronnie Garvin. He said he didn't want to be world champion. He didn't want to travel like that. He liked being home.
Yeah.
You know, so and I can understand. And I'm guessing that's part of what it was. But even the regular guys have a huge travel schedule.
Yeah.
But you know, when they carry the company back, the money does flow also.
Right.
You know, so but
Ahmed could have made a lot of money because he was like what they call white hot at the time.
Oh, absolutely.
He was hot, man. Like, I mean, he's the reason I started back watching wrestling because after the Hogan era, I stopped. I fell away from wrestling, and then fast forward, I want to say 95, 96 during the Iron Man match, WrestleMania 12 with Brett and Shawn Michaels. I started watching it. I think that's when I first saw Ahmed Johnson. I said, "Who is this guy?" Like, he was huge, he was jacked, he was, you know, with the Pearl River plunge, and I started watching it again.
But you got to think during that time, that's starting the beginning of, you know, just right before, and then the Monday Night Wars,
right,
where they really had to pump at each other. You know what I'm saying? Where they had to bring their A game all the time.
Yeah,
and so it's just saying. Sometimes we mess ourselves up when we talk about, like I told you, that Butch Reed was supposed to be Intercontinental Champion, not Honky Tonk Man, but he no-showed.
Right.
Or Tony Atlas and Rocky Johnson, they no-showed, you know what I'm saying, when they were tag team champions. So they hurt themselves. So some of us, the trust was put on us.
Okay.
But we hurt ourselves on the back end because we didn't fulfill what we should have done. Either, and I can't speak and say, well, they thought it was too big. I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know, So
you know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna ban the situation I don't know. But
that's going back to what you was going to talk about, right? Like, you know, that should, you know, black wrestlers that should have been champion.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You know, should have been. And you know, and don't get me wrong, a lot of black, you know, they got the championships for the regional areas. But it would have been nice to see, you know, guys carry the belt, you know, with some of the bigger companies.
Yeah.
Because you can't say they didn't have the talent. Because you can build what you want to build. Simple and plain.
Right.
Bobo Brazil was over. He could have won.
Oh, yeah, I seen it. Yeah, the crowd, like, you know, when I saw the match with him and I forgot who the guy was, but he was kind of a short, fat guy, like kind of a mullet. And the way he handled him, the crowd, like, it was like a big pop.
Oh, yeah.
With him, you know what I'm saying? And I guess he was the United States champion, so that's different from being a world champion. He was the United States champion.
But it's okay to have him as a top dog. Yeah. It's okay. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. Let it be.
Yeah.
You know, because I think on the back end, on the financial side, Bill Watts saw it does pay off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because everybody's not going to everybody don't want to see the white champion all the time. Sometimes they want champion with a little bit of color to it.
Yeah, look, and that's what, you know, as I got older, that's why I was like, dang, you know, how come we don't see no black champions? You know, hell, I even rooted. Let me tell you something. I think it was WrestleMania 6, and it was Bad News Brown and Roddy Piper. I was rooting for Bad News Brown to win because that was like the only. And I didn't realize until I got older how offensive that was. Because remember, he painted himself half black. Yeah, I said, what the hell?
Well, blackface. Well, that's like when Ben said Tony has come back to Saba Simba. That to me was the most foolish thing. But when you get to check the way you want it,
right,
you do what you got to do.
But I can hear somebody now saying, okay, let me play devil's advocate here, where, you know, because, you know, WWF and Vince McMahon and wrestling has been criticized for kind of exploiting black people, like, you know, with the stereotypes, like you had the pimp with Slick, and then you had the Coco Beware with the dancing and stuff. So, and Saba Simba, the shucking and jive, But I can hear somebody saying, well, you know what? They did that with all the ethnic groups. Because like with the Islanders, you know, the Polynesians, they had them barefoot, wild hair, you know, eating bones and stuff. And
yeah, but you know something.
The Mexican, like Tito Santana, you know, ode, you know, arriba.
Yeah, but and you know what's funny? Tito Santana was supposed to be world champion at one time. Sean wouldn't drop the belt to him.
Really? Okay, that's trivia. I didn't know that. Shawn Michaels.
Yep, wouldn't drop the belt. But
wow.
You know, Sean was something else, man.
Yeah, I heard Sean was a douche, man.
You know, so and I love when Cornette tells it. Corny goes wild on him. I'm like, oh, all right, man. And I'll tell you something, man.
Yeah.
Cornette, if you ever watch this, look me up. Come through here, look me up. Yeah. I would love to sit and talk with you. Because just watching, just look at, I mean, the history, like I know stuff.
Right.
But he knows stuff.
Yeah, he's a true historian.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I seen his collection. Like I don't know if it was his basement or a room, but he had
like
an attic or
whatever.
Yep. Yeah, he had like a whole collection. Articles, magazines, like you name it, man.
And even like his notes from over the years.
Yeah.
Like he didn't throw nothing away. It's
right.
Like, wow.
Ultimate wrestling fan.
Yeah.
So all the ethnic groups had the stereotypes, and I guess we were no exception. But sometimes they would go real far with us. Like I saw it was a promo where Harley Race was talking to I think it was Ron Simmons, and he was saying something like, boy, go carry my luggage. And you know, like the way they would talk to us, they would call us boy, and you know, you little monkey, and especially Piper. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Mr. Roddy Piper, rest in peace, man. But Piper used to say the most racist, outlandish stuff, you know.
But then, you know, only thing I said about that is I wonder if that was the real them or if they were trying to get over. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And sometimes you try to get that cheap heat.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you got your blacks who are like, I know he ain't just say that, but then you got your whites just like, yeah, I know he ain't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you it depends on your crowd. I think back then you can get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
You do that now.
Oh yeah,
it's over.
Yeah, especially the Piper blackface thing. I said
it's over
because I mean I almost called you Sean. That's my other homeboy. Piper at the time I didn't get it. I didn't get the blackface. But when I watch the match now, the black side that was painted of him, he was doing the whole the jive and the Michael Jackson glove. I said he's mocking black people. And I saw the interview with Bad News Brown, and Bad News said, "Oh, he said I ain't like that at all. Like I wanted to knock Piper out."
And here's the thing about Bad News Brown. Bad News Brown was legit.
Yes, he was.
He was legit. Like he wasn't no. I'm trying to think. Was it him that Andre the Giant called a nigga?
Yes.
And he basically pumped him on the bus. Mm-hmm. He said, "Step out the bus."
Andre never came out.
Andre wouldn't go. He wouldn't go. Because he knew souls and putting paws on my little scrappy.
They said as far as the guys that Andre feared, Bad News Brown was one of them, Haku and Harley Race.
Well, and Harley Race was a legit tough guy.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard that there were some issues with Race and Ron Simmons. Some race type thing.
Yeah.
That I can't verify and I don't know.
Well, from that promo I watched, maybe so.
But you know, it didn't matter because Simmons got the belt from his boy later.
Oh yeah.
You know, and that's the other thing too. Really, Ron Simmons should have been world champion in WWF.
Yeah,
should have been.
Yeah,
he had the look.
Yep,
he could wrestle. Why not?
Oh yeah. You
know that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you listen to Ron talk about it, he'll say, he has nothing but nice things to say about Vince McMahon. He said he made a lot of money with him and everything. And he seems to not have regret, but looking back, he brought him in as Farouk. With the gladiator helmet and that whole gimmick.
Thing.
Yeah.
Dumb.
Yeah. And his mic skills were kind of average. He didn't have the best mic skills.
But here's the thing. See, this is what ticks me off when people say about mic skills.
Mm-hmm.
Mic skills don't mean jack.
Yeah,
because if I got a guy who can wrestle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they can wrestle circles around anybody or make anybody look good, I'll give him a manager.
Okay.
Because let's be real.
Yeah.
Was Andre a great talker? Absolutely not.
Nah. But Andre was like the eighth wonder of the world, though, man.
But what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But you had to book him in a way to make him look good. And so you put him with Bobby Heenan, you know what I'm saying, to be that mouthpiece.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, for me, it's
like Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar, because Brock has no mic skills at all, Okay.
That's why people say about Shelton Benjamin. Well, Shelton Benjamin don't have mic skills.
Yeah.
But I guarantee Shelton Benjamin can out-wrestle anybody in that company right now.
But it does help, though, because you think about this, before The Rock became The Rock that we know, he was Rocky Maivia. You know, he was a smiley baby face, and I'm just happy to be here. Oh, shucks. But then when he got that mic and he started with the jabroni and, you know, the people's eyebrow and, you know, you smell what the Rock is cooking.
Right.
Took off.
True. But look at Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
He took off too and never really had to talk.
That's true. That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's all in how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
But because I guess the biggest point for me is, you know, people can say, well, he couldn't talk.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine.
Right.
Can he wrestle? Because I can put somebody with it.
Yeah.
And still make more than what I'm paying both of them put together with them being together.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's just a matter of, you know, but that's why I said with a lot of black guys, to me in wrestling, they always found a reason not to put them.
Okay. So that was going to give me my next question. So Vince McMahon just did not know how to handle a talented black wrestler. Because like you said, Ron Simmons with the look and the ring prowess that he had and the athletic ability.
Should have been champion.
Yeah. So Vince could have easily been like, okay, let me put him with, you know, Corny or somebody, and he could have been a champion. Well, even Ahmed Johnson, because Ahmed Johnson was the worst on the mic. Ahmed, I forgot which Raw it was, but him and Stone Cold had some words or whatever. And Ahmed was talking to Stone Cold like, yeah, I'm gonna come, I'm gonna do this to you and whatever. And Stone Cold to the mic, he says, I didn't understand one word you just said, son. But I tell you this, it ain't a black thing, it ain't a white thing, it's a me kicking your ass thing, and can't nobody stop me.
You know, but like I say, it's you know,
yeah,
we have definitely as black come a long way.
Okay.
You know, in this business. We've come a long way. We've come. So are we there yet? No, I think there's more we can do. And even here in Florida, you know, we got you got this one dude, Marquise, is it Carter? I think his name is. Mm-hmm. They got this one group in Florida called Culture Inc. They got a young lady with them named Kai Dream. Matter of fact, they just wrestled here in Sanford over the weekend. Okay. Matter of fact, next time they come, we gotta go.
Yeah, y'all. I want to go to a live event.
We gotta go.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Now I stopped watching, but I did hear about that guy. Was it Kofi Kingston or whatever? Kofi Kingston.
He won the belt. Yep.
He won the belt. And there was some controversy and criticism about how he dropped the belt. Like, you know, it was a historical moment. Yeah.
It was foolishness. Here you have a guy who busts his butt, and the match between him and Daniel Bryan, where he won the belt, was by far one of the best matches I've ever seen that dude in. Okay. One of the best I've ever seen him.
Okay.
You know, and the problem that I have is you hand it back to Brock in a squash. Mm-hmm. I understand you had to give Brock the belt back. I get that. I am so cool with that. Right. Your company do what you want to do. But to me,
just the way it happened.
That was foolish.
Yeah.
And granted, I mean, you know,
especially as a WWE champion, you know, they're supposed to go out heroically. You know, you never seen Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold and The Rock. You never seen them get like just destroyed and dominated and lose the strap. You know, like even when Stone Cold had to lose the strap, you know, like you never seen them in a clean win to lose it. You know, it was always on some BS. You know what I'm saying?
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
It happened to Bob Backlund.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Happened to Bob Backlund. I want to say he beat Bret Hart for the belt. Then it is either the next night, night after, whatever, he wrestled Diesel for the belt. Jackknife Powerbomb, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, wow. Oh, so it does happen.
So,
yeah.
You know, so I think, but you got to think, you're talking what? Early 90s? So, I mean, Bob Backlund's not a name anymore. Right, you know what I'm saying? It's not. Right.
Yeah, he wasn't a hot name. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm talking about
his time had passed.
Yeah, I'm talking about a champion at the height of their popularity, the height of their.
But here's the thing, though. But the thing about Kofi, he bounced back because guess what? You know what I'm saying? He's still popular. Okay. He's still with New Day, still doing things. They don't have Big E anymore, but you know they still have the thing going on. So it's just like whatever. You know, I you know, it's the nature of the beast, man.
Yeah, and I guess you can make that same argument too. Like as far as when Vince first took over WWF, Snuka was the main guy. Like, he was the guy, you know. And Vince took Snuka and threw him in the back and says, "No, we're gonna get this big white guy here, blonde hair, blue eyes, big physique. This is like everything that a champion is supposed to look like and be." Here you go. Here's the guy, Hogan. Even though Snuka was more over than Hogan.
Yeah, but Snuka was another case of being your own worst enemy at times.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. If you ever watch I'm watching Dark Side of the Ring.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, and they talked
yeah,
about that.
Yeah.
You know, and so once again, if we're going to put, and that's why I think the deal with Carver Kissing ticks me off even the more, because he's not a guy who messed himself up.
Right.
Always been a company man from what I've seen. Just as feeling outside looking in. Never got in trouble. Family man. All, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if this is what these guys are getting, and this is what clean cut over, because the guy was over.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But
so Snuka with it being in the right headspace could have been because you know
he could have went to the moon.
It sounds ridiculous now because Hogan's like the biggest name in wrestling, but at that time he was more over than Hogan.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you something, and I tell people this all the time. Name me one 5-star Hogan match.
5-star Hogan match? I can't name one. I can't.
You can't.
No.
Name me one match Hogan did different from the rest. You can't. Punch.
Yeah.
Leg drop.
Yeah.
Come on.
Or the hulking up, you know, when he's getting his butt kicked. Yeah. Each Hogan match had the same formula. Like, okay, at first start out, they're both going at it. The crowd's popping, and then Hogan starts getting whooped. He starts getting beat. He's about to go down. Then all of a sudden, then the finger point. I don't know what he was saying. Like, brother, that's it for you, man. I'm about to knock your teeth out.
You call him a nigga because you know Hogan had some issues. I'm just saying.
Well, the only match that went against the typical Hogan formula, and it didn't, was when he lost to Warrior. That was it, because he hit Warrior with the leg drop and everything. Warrior moved out the way. Splash. Warrior's a new champion, which that broke my heart at the time because I was a Hulkamaniac.
So. Yeah, I guess I'm not a Hogan fan. It had nothing to do with the racial stuff, but you know, like we talked about in the previous, I was an NWA guy,
right?
You know, and more so championship wrestling for Florida guy because that was home, you know, and so, but that's why I say even going back to like the PYTs, you know, that's why even though they're the bad guys, I like seeing them, or the Haitian sensation Tyree Pride. You know what I'm saying?
I have no idea who that is.
Oh man.
Like I said, I checked that after a while. So some of these names you throwing out, man,
so
I don't know.
Tyree Pride, man, big here in Florida. If you ever go on YouTube and watch Battle of the Belts 1, I think he wrestles a guy by the name of Ron Sleeker for the Bahamian title. Not the most well-known of wrestlers. Decently big here in Florida.
Yeah.
But he was who we knew.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. He was a brother.
Okay.
You know, then you had Sailor Art Thomas was another one. Another brother that wrestled here in Florida. So you had guys, but you had to have a promoter who understood playing to the crowd, whether it's in a good way or bad way.
Right.
You had to have some color on your television.
What about your boy Slick? What'd you think about him?
I was fine with Slick. Slick just being a manager, I was fine with.
Because he was supposed to be like the pimp.
Yeah, like a pimp character. Yeah, and it's funny because he's a Baptist minister, but whatever. he is. But but the thing with me, I never thought too much of Slick as far as good or bad. I knew he was a manager, but you got to think at the time, I'm looking at it in the kid's eyes.
Yeah.
And by the time I got into an adult and started getting a little deeper into wrestling, more on the other side, you know what I'm saying? Slick.
He was, and the whole thing with Hakeem, the African Dream.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, like you said, when you were a kid, it's innocent. You being entertained. Yeah. When I watch now, I'm like, oh my God, what have they done?
Yeah.
What have they? I wish I could have been in the room that day where they were brainstorming, like, how would you like to dress like an African and start, doing the boogie dance or whatever? Slick, what do you think about that? Mr. McMahon, I like it.
but it worked because Slick was with it. Right. And I'm sure Slick in some way had to sign off on it. Yeah, you might be the boss.
Yeah.
But I don't see Slick just doing it just because.
Right.
I think at some point in time, just your pride as a black man is like, nah, I can't do this, homie.
So that's why, even though I have my criticisms about wrestling growing up, but because the question is always, was Vince McMahon a racist? And I don't know him. I just know from what I hear, from what I've seen, as far as his product goes, I don't think that's just my personal opinion. I don't think he's a racist. I think Vince McMahon may be a little out of touch with reality because his whole life is wrestling, so he really knows nothing.
Well, he likes to push the envelope.
He likes to push the envelope. Yeah, so he likes to push the envelope. Yeah. So racist, nah. Maybe a little out of touch with reality, maybe.
For sure.
You know, even the thing with John Cena, you know, what's up, my nigga?
Yeah. But he knew how to say it properly. You see him put an ER on there.
Yeah, facts.
So
facts.
he knew he won't go too far.
Yeah.
And so he just did what he felt what he would have to do for that time.
Mm-hmm.
But and I'll say this, you know, blacks in wrestling have had their successes.
Facts.
And there are household names that you know that always be remembered.
Right.
You know, and that's like Iceman King Parsons out of Texas.
Never heard of him.
Oh man. Out of world class, man.
Yeah, you gotta put me on some of these cats, man. Because
Iceman, you know, to me, you know, he had Von Erichs, these big old country boys, and he got this brother, you know, with the Road Warrior Hawk cut. Okay. He had the two braids on the side and bald in the middle.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Iceman by far, but I remember him, and you know, and once again, that's somebody like me. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And you know, very popular in you know in Texas. And the representation was real. Yeah. But I'm trying to think the world class. I know Butch Reed wrestled there a time or two. Iceman Park was a stable mate there.
Somebody said Abdullah the Butcher. Well, Abdullah the Butcher wasn't black, was he?
Yeah, we consider him black, but you know,
he's got a bad reputation too.
He does.
Because you watch what's his name? Hannibal TV. Hannibal, yeah. He
hepatitis.
Yeah, he messed him up. Yeah, he messed up his WWE, I guess, audition or whatever. Yeah, man. Yeah, because he would cut guys without their permission. He would just slice them open. Hence the name The Butcher. Oh man,
I tell you, if you ever go back and watch an interview with Raging Bull Manny Fernandez, he talked about their match. Was it Starrcade? Their match, and he was upset about their place on the card. And Abdullah was like, "Just follow me." He said Abdullah just basically trying to whoop him all up and down the ring, man. He was like, you know, I mean, now granted, Abdullah won't do nothing more than what he was going to let him to do. Yeah. You know, but it's just like, you know, but if we're talking about culture in the ring, right, I think we focus so much on what's going on in the States. But I think if you look at, say, Japan, right, I think Japan was so much into the business of wrestling. If you can get over and do your job, they didn't care. Like to me in Japan, the race thing wasn't a thing for them.
Oh yeah. And also, Japan, they're more into actual wrestling. You know what I'm saying? The art, because now you say, can I name a 5-star Hogan match? In the US? No. In Japan, maybe. I saw a couple of Hogan matches in Japan. I said, wait a minute. He was doing drop kicks. He was doing technical stuff and aerial stuff. And I'm like, I've never seen Hogan do this. But I guess because Vince always taught like the bigger guys wrestle like a big guy, like big guys don't get off their feet. You know what I'm saying? Right. So there was like a certain formula that Hogan had to follow in WWF. But I watched him in Japan. I said, wait a minute, Hogan can actually wrestle.
Wrestlers
I mean, he's no Dynamite Kid and no Bret Hart, but Hogan can get down.
Yeah. But you kind of had to because in Japan they beat the brakes off of it.
Yeah, facts.
Them jokers, boy, they're very stiff, sir.
Right.
Very stiff.
Right.
But no, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, who was it that told a story when I forgot who it was, but they said that Ron Simmons went to Japan and they said that, like you said, if you get in there and you half-ass it, those Japanese wrestlers will tell you a new one. And they said they got a little stiff and said Ron beat everybody up in that ring. Like his tag team partner didn't even have to get in there. It said Ron literally cleaned the house by himself.
Oh yeah.
It said the guy was a beast, man. Oh, yeah. Ron was one of those guys you didn't mess with.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. For sure. He was I will say this. Like I remember watching an interview with Ron Simmons and with Teddy Long. And my one criticism would be this of them. And they talked about some of the things, even Teddy Long. He said something when he told me, he said, my wrestling is not Black history, it's wrestling history. I hear it to a point. Right. But I think in order for people to truly understand the ground that we have made, they really need to know and don't downplay it. Yeah. Because your story is, because here's a guy, he was a ring attendant, right, then a referee, then a manager. You know, starting in the 80s.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And all the way up now, he works with one company down South Florida here, you know, every so often. So it's like your story is a true story. And I'm sure Teddy Long ain't broke. Like, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure Vince took very good care of him. You know.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, and a lot of they dealt with things. But there are some wrestlers who are racist. You know, of racist point of views. Who probably try to take liberties. You know, but I got a name for him. See if you know this name. Rocky King. Never heard of him. You got to go back and watch. So, okay, I'll tell you this one. So Rocky King, he was feuding with Ole and the Horsemen, right? Mm-hmm. Something was going on. And he was talking about somebody's coming. And they got him ready to who's coming. And so they turned face Rocky, hear the crowd going wild, popping, right? Up through the crowd comes JYD.
Oh, okay.
You know, and Rocky King was always a jobber, but I like Rocky King's work. Rocky King, you know, to me, he's like the Monkees. He was just a staple of, you know, getting beat up, but he just made it look so good.
Well, yeah, well, kind of like Coco. You know, Coco Beware was the same thing. Like he had personality, he had charm, but you knew Coco was never. You knew he was a jobber. He was never going to win. I can't recall a match where Coco won.
Oh no, he won matches. Did he won matches? Yeah,
I never seen that brother win a match.
So here's the thing, right?
Yeah,
it depends on which wrestling show you watch. And what I mean by that is if it was the bigger shows for them, but you got to think him and Owen Hart used to be tag team partners.
I didn't know that. As a Blue Blazer or as Owen Hart?
As Owen Hart. They used to be tag team partners. Okay. Look them up when you get a chance.
Okay.
And so he did have some success. Mm-hmm. But see, a lot of his success came in Memphis. You know, in Memphis wrestling. You know, he was a world champion there. But the problem, but see, here's the thing.
Yeah.
But I don't consider the Memphis Championship to be a major world championship because they're a regional company. Like they didn't go out of their region.
Right.
You know, I remember listening to a guy talk about that one time. He said, "You can't say you have a world championship when you don't travel the world."
That's an accurate statement.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can say you're a heavyweight champion. Right. Like I get that, but you can't say you're world champion because
you don't travel the world.
You don't travel the world. You don't defend your title around the world.
Right.
When you start doing that, then it's a world championship.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
but that statement he made about, you know, not Black history but wrestling history, because we are a minority in the wrestling business, but and I think it's very important to have these conversations. And like I'm learning from you, you know what I'm saying? I'm learning things from you and about wrestlers from you because, you know, I need to know the history of how wrestling got built up. It got built up off of these names, these unsung heroes that we don't know about. But if not for these unsung heroes, the business wouldn't be where it is today. So
absolutely.
You have to pay
homage. I said, without a Sweet Daddy Siki, you might not have a Rock.
Right. Or Randy Savage. Like I'm serious. He had the cape on and the costume. I'm like, I saw Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yep.
You know, the sunglasses and everything, you know.
And one of the biggest things too was the inequality when it came to pay.
Right.
You know, in Siki's interview, he talked about how Jack Tunney would pay other performers more than what he paid him. Mm-hmm. And he said he always had not hatred per se, but he always felt a type of way about that.
Right.
You know, because Siki was another one. Mm-hmm. He got him in the building.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, you know, I'm bringing them in, pay them more work. You know what I'm saying? You want to see big name guys, you paying them all the big bucks,
right?
Pay them my work.
Right.
Kamala Ugandan Giant.
Kamala, rest in peace.
You know, he should have been better off than what he was when we retired. Mm-hmm. You know.
Oh yeah, like the Kamala I remember. I don't know if his gimmick changed over time, but the Kamala I remember was like a brain dead. You know, just slapping the stomach and, you know, stupid and eyes big. And,
but you know, he was a wrestler before that, before he became Kamala.
He was what?
He was a wrestler before. He was wrestling none there.
I didn't know that. What was it?
Gosh, what was it? I can't remember offhand.
What was the gimmick? Did he have like a different,
just
like
a regular black dude? Yeah.
See, Kamala, you know, you thought Kamala was I don't want to say the word. You can't say retard, right? No. Well, I thought he was mentally. I thought he was mental.
Special
you know,
needs.
I thought he was special needs. Yeah. Excuse me, y'all. I'm still trying to get my PC stuff together.
No, but so here's the thing with Kamala. You know, he picked that up in Memphis. And it was Lawler's idea to do all the painting and stuff on his stomach. Because I want to say, I remember hearing somebody that told me, one time he asked, why the half moon. Remember, he had the crescent moon.
Yeah.
Like, why? He was like, why is Jerry Lawler painting bananas on my stomach? You know what I'm saying? But there's just, I mean, there's just so much to it that you don't know unless you just go in and you look at it. You know, like I said, I'm a wrestling fan through and through,
right,
regardless.
Right.
And I do think it says a lot when, you know, you see wrestlers who represent your culture.
Facts. Well, even with the Polynesians, we just talked about them, but
they're strong in the business.
Well, I was about to say, what difference between us and them is that they actually have their own, not territories, but they have their own, like, because didn't The Rock's grandfather have his own territory or whatever, or his own, or his own wrestling organization?
Peter Maivia, he might have had Hawaii. He might have.
I believe so. Yeah, because all of them came up, you know, the Snookers and.
But you know, the Wild Samoans, they got their training school. They run shows every month in Mineola, Florida, right here.
Okay.
About 50 minutes from here.
Yeah.
And so the ladies there, you know, Roman Reigns came from it. The Usos come from it. The Rock come from under that.
Right.
You know, all them under Hachi Peter Maivia. You know, and so their lineage is strong. And then they got oh God, what's his name? He's with MLW now. They're world champion. Ooh, what is his name?
What's his person say? How about Pistol Pez Wally?
Pez.
Oh, Pez.
So now I'm glad they brought that up, right? Okay. So Pistol Pez Wally, one of the craziest, most racist things that I ever thought to have seen. And this is me. When they had him and what is his name? Something Junior. They were called the Jive Tones.
The Jive Tones.
The Jive Tones. They came out with tails and top hats. And oh man, I'm gonna have to YouTube this.
Yeah,
I mean, the Jive Tone.
I've never heard of Pistol Pez. Wow.
Yeah, he was here in Florida too.
So that's Jake. Yeah, so Jake, you a big wrestling fan too, huh? Look, I'm learning a lot of this stuff today, man. This was up.
Yeah, I'm seeing. Who was his partner? Tiger Conway Jr. was his partner.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, it was another one.
Yeah.
But once again, it's all in the time that you grew up. Like we're you know, I'm a 70s baby who watched wrestling in the 80s.
Yeah.
Because I'm 76, so I didn't really get 70s wrestling unless me going back and watching.
Right. And I'm 79, so I didn't start watching wrestling until like
mid-80s.
after Rocky 3. Yeah.
Mid-80s.
Yep.
So hold on. Oh no. Let me put Jive Tone wrestling. But yeah, no, it was Tiger Conway Jr.
Okay.
And you know, once they got to see that we brought the people in, they're more apt to bring us in.
Right.
You know, the problem was that there still was a pay disparity with them. You know, because Rocky Johnson, as good a verse as he was, they were living pillow to post.
Wow. Is that why he resent? Well, yeah, what was the fallout between him and Tony Atlas? Was it over money? Was it because Rocky?
I don't know about you teaching me something on that one.
Well, I know they had a problem. I mean, from what Rocky's version of it was that Tony Atlas was a screw up. You know, he used to come late. He was coked up all the time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's why I lost the belts.
But now on Tony Atlas' side, Tony Atlas said that Rocky was trying to sabotage it because he was so used to being a singles competitor. He didn't want to have to share the paycheck and the spotlight.
I'm going to be real with you. I will go more Rocky. God bless the dead, but I will go more Rocky story.
Okay.
I think it's more believable.
Yeah. Yeah. So Tony Atlas said there was there and that Rocky, you know, Rocky knew that Tony Atlas was a big name and he didn't want to have to share the spotlight with another wrestler, especially another black wrestler. He wanted to be the guy, you know, and plus it messed with the money. So he said that's why Rocky would do little sneaky stuff, like he would leave him at the hotel or whatever, and he would do like little sneaky stuff to him.
But if you're over, you're over.
Yeah.
And if you're over enough, you can talk your paycheck. You know, that's like here recently, Ted DiBiase told a story a couple years back, I guess it was.
Yeah.
How Virgil would get booking saying that we're gonna have Ted DiBiase is gonna be here with me. Ted would know nothing about it.
Oh yeah, I think I heard that.
So Virgil would be there, what's Ted?
Wow.
And they gave Ted DiBiase a bad name.
Wow. Virgil.
You know?
Yeah.
Down and dirty.
That was some stereotypical stuff too. The white $1 million champion and had the black escort, you know, Virgil. All Virgil did was stand there with the money, like this and looking mean.
But you know what? I'm sure when Virgil cashed those checks, he got over.
Oh yeah.
But it's
yeah.
You know, but that's why I'm. But even like when Kofi Kingston first came in, they wanted him to be like this Jamaican, y'all man, all this. You know what I'm saying?
Stereotypical, yeah.
But eventually he switched out of that, and you know, now he got his real voice. Now he got, you know what I'm saying?
Didn't they do that with SD Jones? Didn't they try to make SD Jones like a stereotypical Jamaican or whatever?
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah. Because SD Jones, he was another guy. He was he was a well-known name, but he was another jobber. I've never seen him win a match.
No, he wasn't. Now he would team up. Well, no, that's Rufus Jones.
Yeah,
would team up with Andre at times.
Because I remember seeing him. I think I saw him at the first WrestleMania, and he was like the first loss. You know what I'm saying?
King Kong Bundy. King Kong Bundy was like 5 seconds.
Yeah,
basically a big old squash. Yeah. But I'm sure once that check cleared, it was like,
And they even made a toy of him. I'm like, I got the toy, but I never seen him win a match. So of course, when I'm playing with my SD Jones toy and my Roddy Piper toy, Piper wins. I never seen the brother win a match.
You know, you can look past what they do. You can let the brother win sometime. Let the brother win sometime.
Well, like my son, you know, he's a big Hulk fan, and you know, if you've seen Infinity War, you know what Thanos did to Hulk. So I said, look, if you're in my house, you playing with Hulk and Thanos, Hulk wins every time. I play.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
Oh man! All right. So in the future, do you see more black talent really not so much taking over the sport, but just getting more recognition? Because we didn't get that in the 80s and the 90s. You know.
Yeah, I think because times have changed.
Okay.
And we do a lot more inclusion, a lot more diversity in all things.
Right.
And so you got people who don't like it, they'll get over it. But I think, and they have to see that this is what's going to build. This is what we have to. Even if you look at the Performance Center, they've got a lot of minorities down there. You know what I'm saying? But you know what we haven't touched on?
Who's that?
Black women.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, listen, off the top of the dome, only sister I could think of is, what's the name? Jacqueline?
Jacqueline,
yeah, in the 90s.
Yeah,
and from what I heard, she was like legit badass, but I guess she wasn't over like that.
Texas, she was.
Okay.
Texas, she was.
They said she was beating dudes.
Yeah. She was pretty harsh. I wouldn't try to meet her.
Nah.
You got her. You got Awesome Kong.
Okay.
You got
very few Naomi. Okay. So these are women now.
Naomi is now.
Okay.
You got Jazz, who used to be the NWA World Champion. She's wrestling with Impact Wrestling right now. I know she said she's gonna retire. She was WWE champion. She came up from ECW. So you got Jazz, Naomi, Awesome Kong. And you had back in the black and white days where you did have some black female wrestlers.
Okay, well, I was going to ask that because I know Moolah has been known to sabotage a lot of women's careers, including Wendy Richter. So do you think in those days there could have been more black women talent?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you like this right here. And I know you got people who say, well, she's dead. I don't care. You know what? Because she was a vile individual.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, and I didn't know her personally, but everybody can't be lying on you.
Yeah.
Everybody can't.
They all say the same story.
Everybody can't be lying. And I know someone say, "Well, I don't hold a grudge." I'm not saying I hold a grudge. I don't hold a grudge. I don't care either way.
Right.
But I'm not going to sit up here and glorify you because you know that's why they changed. You know, then we had the Mae Young Classic. They changed the name of it.
Right.
You know, because all this started coming out. Because she was something.
Yeah. Well, I heard.
Not Mae Young, but Lou. What were we just talking
about? Moolah.
Yeah. You know, so it's not Mae Young, but you know, so
Sasha Banks. Yeah.
Sasha Banks.
Yeah. Moolah.
But I will say this: don't shit the share. Oh, what's the other girl name? Black girl. I can see her face because she got part of her head shaved with the curly hair, with the colored hair. What is her name? I've actually seen her live here in Sanford. She's with WWE.
Okay.
Skylar Moon. I think it's Amber Moon.
Okay.
And so, but just
back when I watched, it was just Jackie. That was it. That's like the only sister that I seen.
Yeah.
In wrestling, it was Jackie, and she was jacked. You know, she looked like her, and when her and Sable had that little feud, I said, man, she can whoop Sable with 2 hands.
But that's how you know stuff be booked. Because there ain't no way in the world Sable gonna run no Jacqueline. Jacqueline beat the brakes off.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even be close.
Mm-hmm.
I feel so bad. I feel like I have to put Jacqueline off. Beat the brakes off.
Man, you had enough.
She didn't mean it. She saw it.
Yeah.
I'd be feeling sorry for her. Like, nah.
Yeah.
You know, but that's why I say, you know, but I think Jacqueline's place in the business is cemented. Oh, yeah. I think somebody like Naomi, her place is gonna be cemented. Sasha Banks, her place is gonna be cemented. Mm-hmm. So you have all these people, their places will be cemented in this business.
Okay. So you put me on to see. I didn't know about these sisters I was wrestling. So yeah. Big ups to the sisters in the business, man. I had no idea.
Oh yeah. And then Sapphire used to wrestle before she got with Dusty.
I didn't know that. Well, because remember the way they sold it was she was just a regular spectator in the crowd.
But how many times did they pull that? They pulled that with Santino Marino, Santino Morella. Mm-hmm. They pulled it. You know what I'm saying? They pulled a couple times.
Earthquake too. I think they did.
Yeah. What they do push-ups with him sitting on the back, and then when then he helped Jimmy Hart with that. So I mean, it's just it's a lot, man.
Yeah, because I remember was it WrestleMania where it was Sapphire and Dusty against Savage and Sherry, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I remember watching that, cringing like, wait a minute, Sapphire ain't no wrestler. This is gonna be bad. Like when she got in the ring, I'm like, ugh. But I didn't know she was a wrestler though.
Yeah, but she was old too at the time.
Yeah. And that whole relationship was just cringeworthy, Sapphire and Dusty,
hey Sapphire, baby. What's going on, baby? I'm gonna go to the ring and I'm gonna win that match for you, baby. That's right, Dusty. Go. I'm gonna go home and making some greens too. Up and making good greens for me, baby.
It's so cringeworthy. I'm like, no, man.
But they got it to work.
Yeah, it was,
they got it to work.
Yeah.
But see, once again, like you said, we were kids,
right?
So we didn't see nothing pass,
right. And and I think Dusty's biggest fan base was old black ladies. Old black ladies love them some Dusty Rhodes, man. Yeah.
Especially here, man. He's one of my grandma's favorites.
Okay.
Big Dust. But you got to think, but Dust, he was a Florida boy when it came to wrestling,
right?
And watching him do what he did, and watching him. And just knowing that, gosh, man.
Yeah.
The dude was out the chain. Oh, Charmel, Booker T's wife.
Okay. I didn't know about her either.
Yeah, Charmel, she was a nitro dancer. She wrestled a bit, but she wasn't like a big into it or whatever. But she wrestled a match or two.
Okay, all right. Yeah, y'all put me on. Look, there was more sisters that I knew of.
Oh, yeah. Let's see who's that. Oh, no, we said Awesome Kong already. Yeah. But no, so man. But you'd be amazed. I mean, you can sit and talk for hours, but you know what I'm saying? But no.
I know you're about to so we're about to wrap it up in a minute because it's been about an hour now.
I got time if you got time. I ain't in no rush, man.
Yeah, no, I'm cool.
Yeah.
If you got some more to get it in,
I'm basically going home to relax. I let that teacher life today. Now I'm going home to take me a shower, get into bed. But But when we talk about this thing, next month is Black History Month,
right,
and so it's good for it to be known.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, because definitely. I want our kids to celebrate our Black wrestling heroes too.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, definitely.
They need to be celebrated too. And a lot of them, like a lot of names I named, they don't know. A lot of them I wouldn't know.
Listen, I learned a lot today. I'm gonna go back and watch this, and I'm taking notes and I'm doing my research on it, man. You put me onto a lot of stuff.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, you'd be amazed at how how good we have been in this business without the full benefit and knowledge of what we've done.
Right.
Like I told you, even some recent guys, dude by the name of AR Fox, he runs a school up in Atlanta, WWA 4. Like I said, we saw a show he came down here with. Him and his wife, school kid. I mean, those guys did, and some of those guys only wrestled in a couple weeks. They did a great job. I mean, a botch here and there, but you expect that. But I thought they did a great job.
Yeah.
For the amount of time they've been wrestling. Ring of Honor, Jay Lethal. And Ring of Honor. You got to check him out.
Okay.
I've had the opportunity to see him live. Matter of fact, right at Salvation Army in Sanford, he came for Vintage Pro Wrestling to wrestle.
Okay, well, bro, like you hit me up, be like, listen, there's an event here, whatever.
Yeah,
let's go.
no, for sure. We're gonna try to get one in.
Yeah.
But Vintage Pro Wrestling, really good. Like I said, they're folded now, but got to see him. And I'm trying to think. And then you had the CNC Wrestle Factory, was Caprice Coleman and Cedric Alexander. That was in the ring up, and those guys were pretty good.
Okay.
And so,
well, let me ask you. I don't think we touched on this. What do you think about the Nation of Domination, like during the Attitude Era? Yeah,
I thought it was great.
Okay. At first, I was like, okay, because it's supposed to be this black militant group,
right?
But at one time, it was Farouk, Crush, and Savio Vega.
Right.
That was the Nation, and those two white guys that rapped. I'm like, I ain't take it seriously. But then when you brought in Kama Mustafa and D-Lo, and then The Rock, which cemented it, that was one of the best, what do you call it, best factions in wrestling. I was they should have dominated everybody, not DX. Like technically, if you put them in DX, man, they should have crushed DX.
I think in a shoot fight they crush him.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was but you gotta do what you think is gonna sell.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta think. Ron Simmons wrestled Bret Hart when he was a leader for the championship. He just didn't win it.
Oh, okay.
He wrestled Bret Hart for the belt, just didn't get it.
Yeah, I definitely feel
I think Bret would have got him over. I think Bret would have gave him the belt had they got the okay.
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, like I said, I know Ron doesn't have any regrets, man, but I feel like I don't think Vince gave him the push that I thought he deserved. I thought Ron Simmons he deserved a better push in the WWF.
For sure. But I'm pretty sure when that check comes every month, he ain't thinking
anything about the push. Well, look, bad news. Okay, Bad News said the same thing. Bad News Brown in the shoot interview said, listen, I had no desire to be the champion. I wanted to make money. You know what I'm saying? And with certain people, I could make money. Now, if you messed up my money, then we had a problem. But he said, I didn't care about having the strap. Like, that didn't mean nothing to me.
I think sometimes as fans, we get locked up into that.
Right.
But those guys don't care.
Yeah. Well, even Piper, even though he's not black, but Piper, I don't think ever held a title.
I think he had WCW title.
Did he?
One time, I believe.
Yeah, but in WWF, he never had a title.
Nope.
He never. Well, not only did he not have a title, but I never knew this until I think Corny talked about it. He never lost clean in the ring because he was supposed to lose to Hogan. And I don't know if it was the first WrestleMania. It was one of them. He was supposed to lose to Hogan. He told Vince, no. He said, I'm not losing to him because if Hogan beats me, just like he's selling lunch boxes, I'm selling lunch boxes. If I lose to Hogan 1, 2, 3 in the ring, that messes up my credibility, and I can't have that. And for whatever reason, because Vince is the boss, Vince could have been like, well, screw you, but not. Vince always gave in to him. So Piper never really lost clean in WWF. That's crazy. One of the few that can get away with that.
But when you got enough star power, you can do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like now. The Rock comes and goes as he pleases.
Yep.
If the Raw was called, I'm telling you, if the Raw was called on the Monday night, 3 hours, 4 shots, say, hey, I just want to come wrestle a match.
Right.
You do? Oh,
yeah,
shoot.
Because he's the Rock.
Let me arrange everything. You going to wrestle today.
Yeah. Well, the Rock is because, he's like the biggest superstar in the world, man. Yeah. But for Piper to do that, I was like, wow, man. But yeah, so yeah, well, I guess so. Farouk, he made money, with the Nation, and then after the Nation fizzled out, then he started doing some singles competitions. Then he hooked up with
Bradshaw.
With Bradshaw.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. And what was they called? What was the name of the
APA?
APA, yeah.
Act Like Protection.
Yeah. Which I think, do you think he was more over in the Nation or APA?
APA.
Because he had that signature, damn.
And I think too, because of the time and the way wrestling was going at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he didn't have to do a whole lot to be over.
Right. Yeah, they just sat and they played cards
and drank
they
beer.
Smoked their cigars, every now and then it'd be like, damn,
And when somebody had the issue, they wouldn't solve it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
It was the business.
Now let me ask you who wins in the tag team match now? You got Doom against the Soul Patrol, Rocky Johnson and Tony Atlas.
Doom
wins easily.
Close. Not even close.
Oh man, did they ever wrestle the Road Warriors?
Who?
Doom.
I'm sure they probably did.
Because those guys were like dominant, man. Like, because both of them was jacked and just
and they both were legit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You got some guys like Shawn Michaels. Like if I meet him in a bar, something myself, dude, you ain't doing that.
I heard Shawn never won a fight.
Yeah, you ain't doing that. Yeah. What you gonna do? But if I went Ron Simmons or Butch Reed,
oh yeah,
I'm good, dog.
Yeah. Well, when you hear about the toughest guy, like the legit tough guys in the business, you know, you always hear about Haku and Harley Race, but then when Ron Simmons comes up, they say, well, look, yeah, Ron, they said Ron was that guy. You know, he would just look at you and you would know this is not a guy you want to mess with.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because I heard the Steiner, like Scott Steiner used to try to, bully people, but they say never bullied they never tried Ron. Said Ron
said he would. Ron said he whooped both.
Yeah.
And I believe him. I believe him.
Oh, yeah.
I believe Ron putting paws on him for real.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But, of course, the main guy you always heard about was Haku. You know, Haku taking eyeballs out and, you know, biting noses off and throwing people through windows and
don't start no be
don't start no. You know what? I think the funniest story I heard with him, I think Warlord was telling the story how I think it was the nose biting incident, and they said they took him to the hotel lobby just to calm down, like chill or whatever, and said the police showed up and was like, yeah, we're looking for Haku, and Warlord was like, listen, he's over there just cooling down. Give him a couple of minutes, because if you go there right now, he will fight every single one of you. So just stay there. Just give him a few minutes. And the cop said, just a few minutes? Yeah, okay.
Sometimes you gotta use common sense.
Well, because Jerome, like, you go to a bar, who's gonna step to a 6 foot, 300-pound Samoan? You know, I've seen Samoans in action. I've been to a club in Seattle. And I've seen Samoans get down. I say, look, Russians, Samoans, leave them alone. Yeah. Yeah, like, for some reason, people have a death wish and want to step down.
No, like on Friday when Debo knocked that boy when he came asking for the bike.
Yeah.
His daddy pop out the car. You want some? Now, I don't know. I done told you about coming out here messing with these people.
Yeah, but Jerome, you always hear those stories like, yeah, Haku was drinking, minding his own business, and then these Marines come messing with him like, hey, what are you doing hanging with these black people? You know, I'm not black, I'm Islander. Well, you know, you a nigger. And the next thing you know, I think Rick Steiner said, yeah, it was kick up in the throat. You know, Rude took a couple of guys out, and it was over before it began.
But that's always a good thing I'd like to see. You know, like when we talk about like with Dick Murdoch and
right.
And the dog. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Dick had his issues, but he made sure dog was straight. Yeah. I don't respect his thought process.
Yeah.
But he didn't make sure. But once again, was it because you have love for him, or was it because it affected your money?
Oh, yeah. And dog would draw you money. You know, even at the back end of his career, you know, the twilight of his career, he was not the same guy. You know, I saw a couple of matches where he was out of shape, and you heard Jim Ross like, yeah, you know, he's packed on a couple of pounds, but he still looks like the dog, you know, like throwing shade. But even at the twilight of his career, dog was still putting asses in the seat.
It was. He was just a name that was that big.
Yeah.
You know, and
but never held a championship, never held a title. Nope. It was like, you can see better than me, man. It was a
see. I used to think The Rock didn't claim his black side, but that was before I knew his story. Oh, yeah, that what? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure, but you gotta think though, when The Rock first started in WWE, because remember, he was in Memphis first before he went to WWE.
Yeah.
When he first started in WWE, they made a big deal of making that known about Rocky Johnson being his dad.
Right. Yeah, Rocky Maivia. Yeah.
They made a big deal about it. You know, he took his dad's first name and his granddad's last name.
Right.
So it was made to be known about who he was.
Right.
So most people, you know, if you didn't know Rock from the beginning, you wouldn't have known that. Most people, they know Rock from when he started doing the People's Eyebite. They didn't know him when he was, you know, with the curly top and all that.
But I'm going to add this to that, though. I think a reason why a lot of people thought that he never claimed his black side was because his persona went against the stereotypical black persona in WWF, you know, because either you had to be the jive-talking slickster, you had to be the African, you had to be, you know, like the tough guy, I'm going to beat you up. But Rock comes in there articulate, smooth, you know what I'm saying? People's eyebrow, you know, lay the smack down on your candy ass. Rock can go verbally toe-to-toe with anybody. And at the time, that wasn't known for black wrestlers to do. So that's why I think people criticize him like, yeah, well, he didn't get in touch with his blacks. Like, yeah, he was, but it was just different, you know?
Well, he got into his education because, you know, when the University of Miami, so college educated.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So he wasn't no slouch.
Dummy. Yeah.
You know?
But that's almost like, you know, just like when you hear people say, like, if you have somebody black that pronounces their words and they talk properly, oh, you're talking white. So what are you trying to say?
I used to do that all the time.
You know what I'm saying? So to talk ignorant like that, that's black. So to you, being black and ignorant, that's how you talk. So if I'm like, oh, yeah, that's black right there.
No.
But if I say,
I know that's what you're saying. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, the Rock went against that stereotype. You know, that's why, you know, they're like, well, he ain't really black. Yes, he is.
Yeah. Black as your mama.
Yeah. Rock is black. Look, I bet you sat down with the Rock could talk to you like a real brother. You know?
Yeah. I'm sure some Negro come out in the mix somewhere.
Right.
You know,
but that just went against the stereotype.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. But you know, but I think that's why we as parents, you know, because like I said, my mom wasn't a wrestling fan.
Right.
My dad was.
Right.
You know, and I watched wrestling with my grandma. My grandma, she wasn't to give me no history lesson. We just chilling watching wrestling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's just what it was. And we have to get our kids to see these wrestlers who are like us.
Facts.
And point them out.
Facts. Yeah.
And that's why I mentioned like a Leon Ruff.
You
know, I think the guy's great.
Yeah.
You know, they got they got this group called Dark City Fight Club, John Davis and Corey Chambers. The first time WrestleMania came here to town, I got to see them wrestle. They wrestle. Who did they wrestle? They was wrestling the Ring of Honor at the time. But I remember they were getting chopped like nobody's business. But when I tell you, I never forget them.
Yeah.
You know, and I would get to see John Davis when I go to FIP shows. And I just always enjoyed it.
Right.
You know, because in my eyes and to me, I was just like, man, you know, these guys are tough and they look like us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, looking at New Jack, like I said, I know people have their views and thoughts on New Jack. Whatever. I don't care nothing about that.
Yeah, I think the only person I think that I heard talk good about him as far as in the business is Corny. That's it.
But
Corny loves New Jack.
Yeah, but it wasn't always like
always like that.
It wasn't always like that. No. I know one New Jack one time called them undercover racist.
Oh Jesus.
You know, but their beef is their beef because I love both the guys. And, you know, and I think for me, like with Cornette, man, I think he just got such I just think he's got such a love for the business. You know what I'm saying? Like his knowledge and history, man, it's like off the chain.
Oh yeah.
And the thing of it is though, with Cornette, even when he ran Smoky Mountain, he didn't see black or white. Because if you see some of the stuff that the gangsters did in Smoky Mountain wrestling, you'd be like the one coming up with New Jack was like, OJ Simpson, keep up the good work.
Well, push the envelope. That's what wrestling does. Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure, and you're talking Memphis wrestling, you're talking area, I'm sure it's called all types of niggas. I'm sure all types of And they said there were times they had to get the police, they had to basically run out the back door, jump in the car, and be gone. Basically had the car running. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But that's how you know you got some heat.
Oh yeah. When you really dislike the person. Yeah.
I mean, when I say heat, you talk about white heat. Yeah. I'm talking extra white with onions.
Oh yeah.
Because you know what I'm saying? To even attempt to think you can get away with saying something like that.
Well, look, I think as a kid, I remember really hating Piper when I saw Piper's Pit and he bust that coconut over Snooker's head.
Oh, yeah.
I remember being a kid and I hated him. I'm like, I want somebody to kick his ass so bad, not knowing it was a work. I didn't know it was a work. I thought it was real. I thought he actually busted coconut upside his head. He was beating it with the belt. You know, get up, boy. You know, somebody hurt this guy, please.
Yeah. But that's why I say, you know,
even with Mr. T, when he was, you know, going after Mr. T was my hero, you know, so I wanted Mr. T to beat the hell out of Piper.
Yeah, Piper didn't like T for real though.
Yeah, I heard.
He didn't like for real. But it was never anything on a racial point.
Right.
It was just so to the point to where he felt he was coming in and taking away from the bull.
Right.
And preferential treatment. And I can understand that. You know, here I am, I bust my butt for this company. And you know, and T, I'm sure you got paid good money to do that. Oh yeah. You know.
Well, I mean, say what you want about T as far as the wrestlers go, but shoot, if it wasn't for T, I don't think wrestling would have became, you know, WWF would have became the household name that it became.
Well, you know, for that WrestleMania, like McMahon put it all on the line.
Yeah, you told me about that.
It was all on the line, and it was make or break because everything was missing. If it had failed, he was in trouble.
Oh yeah. You know,
you don't have NWA. It'd be NWA around now
yeah.
instead of WWE, you know.
Yeah, well, that's the reason I started watching wrestling, because Rocky 3, I saw Hogan and Mr. T, and now Mr. T is going to be in WrestleMania with Hulk Hogan. So I'm like, well, shoot, I'm going from the movie world to now the wrestling world,
right?
And that was pretty much my introduction to wrestling,
right?
And then I would go to my cousin's house, and that's when I got introduced to the NWA and Ric Flair and all that. But it started with Hogan and T.
But see, I was saying that's where with the opposite, because I was always more NWA.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I was always more NWA. Much more hard hitting, and I got to see a whole lot more like me.
So there was more diversity in
oh yeah, if you look at Georgia Championship Wrestling,
yeah,
you had Big Cat Ernie Ladd, you had Thunderbolt Patterson,
right.
You had Tony Atlas. So I mean, you had guys who
I forgot about Ernie Ladd,
who looked like us.
Yeah,
you know.
Now wasn't Ernie Ladd about the same size as Andre height wise?
He was a big boy.
Yeah.
He was a big boy.
Because Andre was known as being like the biggest but I could have sworn I saw them together. It looked like they was about the same size.
Yeah, not too far apart.
Yeah.
You know, you know, Ladd played ball, man. He came from Grambling.
Right.
Went and played a couple years in NFL.
Now, I wonder if Andre ever tried him, you know, because Andre is known as, you know, there were only one giant, you know. So if you saw somebody stepping over the ropes and somebody that was as big as him, Andre didn't like that.
Well, that's like Thunderbolt Patterson. I remember reading the thing one time where Bolt was tripping, and I don't know how true this is, but it was stated that, you know, Bolt didn't like when other black folks came to Georgia. Whatever territory it was at that time. And it was said, he told Ole, I'm the only nigga around here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because,
you know, it was a novel, you know, novel ideology, you know. And at this time, obviously, these guys are wrestling the white boys now.
Right.
Because, you know, Ole and Thunderbolt used to be champions together. So it was well,
that's what Tony Atlas was trying to say about Rocky Johnson. He was saying Rocky Johnson's whole mindset was, okay, I'm like the main black face around here, and you're cramping my style right now.
Right. Yeah. But that's crabbing. If that's true, that's crabbing the barrel stuff.
Yeah,
that's crabbing the barrel because you know you will want as many rounds as possible. I'm a firm believer in this. You know, if I go swimming, I can bring you with me. Let's ride.
Yeah,
let's ride.
Yep.
You know, and anything. Let's ride. We're gonna ride this wave together.
But I think that's just how the times was with black folks. Just like even in the entertainment industry, you know. There was a time where it was only one funny black comedian at a time. So Richard Pryor was Red Fox was the 60s, Richard was the 70s, and now come the 80s, Richard's still the guy, but here's this young up and comer, Eddie Murphy. And I didn't know this till recently while I was watching a comedy hype, and Richard had a problem with Eddie. You know what I'm saying? Eddie looked up to him like his hero, but Richard was like, nah, like I'm still the head guy here. You know, you're
Didn't want to give up the throne.
Didn't want to give up the throne, but then what ended up happening was when Eddie got big, Eddie started crapping on Richard, which I didn't know. Yeah,
it happens.
But that's how it was at the time. Like, you know, when you was the head black guy and there wasn't too many of us, now here you come. Like, whoa, what you doing? No, this is mine right here.
Yeah, but I think that you had to understand. The grand scope of it, and historically, what was it going to show? What was it going to do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, because today, you know, people still talk about Norva Austin.
Yeah.
He was part of the original Midnight Express. People don't know that. One of the original Midnight Express was a black guy.
I didn't know that.
You know, the same guy who was with Coco Beware in there, the PYT. You know, they still talk about Coco Beware. Wow. They still talk about Sailor Art Thomas. They still talk about Thunderbolt. They still talk about Ernie Ladd. You know, they still talk about Coco. Bobo
Brazil. Yeah. Who so funny? His signature move was the coca headbutt or whatever.
The cocoa butt.
Yeah. Cocoa butt. Yeah.
So I mean, all these guys. So the history hasn't waned.
Right.
But in order for you to know them, you know, guys, now generation and later now, you got to go research them out.
Yeah.
Thank God for YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube.
So
Google,
you can go out and you know and learn and see these guys work. And I'm always amazed that I watch matches from the 80s and sometimes I'd be like, why did I find this interesting?
Yeah, there were like slower paced matches back then.
Absolutely. And so I think that's where the business has changed.
Right.
Because now you have it where you're just used to everything being so fast, everything being so and I know a lot of older guys get upset about it, but you have to go with the times are. And if that's what the times is giving you, you go what the times are giving you.
But I think also that's what made it more realistic back then because it looked like it was more of a brawl. Like guys would get tired and the punches would slow down sometimes. But now it's so choreographed. Like okay, ropes, kick, slam. You can see the choreography in the wrestling. And it looks like a dance. But back then it was more like a brawler type deal.
Oh, absolutely.
But it was slow. But it looked like it was a fight.
And when somebody said it's gonna hurt somebody, you just knew.
Yeah.
Like here in Florida, right? So let's talk about like the Dusty and Kevin feud. And we talked about it last time. I just knew Dusty Rhodes had it out for Kevin Sullivan, and I just knew Kevin Sullivan was gonna be hanging Dusty Rhodes on the altar, sacrificing to the devil. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you just knew, and they didn't work a fast match. They didn't, But boy, they had you in there, and they had you sucked in, and it was just like, all in there, And so, but listening and seeing these guys, and getting to see the history of what they've done. It's like, man, why don't more people know about these guys? And I know at the beginning of February, they does their whole thing to Black History Month. They do a little montage, yada yada yada. Yeah. But to me, that doesn't do justice.
Nah.
And it's their business. Do what you do.
Facts, but definitely, but
it doesn't do justice because there are so many blacks who could have gone a whole lot further in this business. But some of them wouldn't kiss tail, some of them wouldn't change, some of them, and sometimes your own personal integrity. Hey, I'm not going to do that. I'll take that L. But I'm not doing that. But I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Well, I saw a Tony Atlas interview where he owned up to it, and it's funny because I read the comments. People were calling him, Uncle Tom and a sellout and stuff. But they asked him, why weren't there any black champions? And kind of, what you were saying, he was like, well, because a lot of us, messed up our own careers, including myself. Because he was like, well, could you have been a champion? He says, yeah, I could have been, but I messed that up. That was my fault, So he started naming off some names like Rocky Johnson. Oh, no, absolutely not. No. Every black wrestler he named off, he couldn't be champion because he had this problem. Well, he couldn't be champion because he had issues with that. So in the comments, it was like, man, you a sellout, man.
But here's the thing in the grand scheme of a lot of them couldn't be champions because a lot of promoters were scared of what their white fans would say and how they would feel.
Right.
Simple and plain. Because who was it? Ole was the booker at the time. Somebody went to Ole and was like, you need to make Tony Atlas champion. Ole wouldn't do it because he just didn't feel like they were ready for a black champion.
Wow.
And that's not being racist or whatever. You're doing what you feel is best for your business.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Now, Ole will call you a nigga in a heartbeat. We'll call him a nigga. But but
it wasn't like malicious. It was just like, listen.
No, because the way Cornette put it, he said Ole was just mean to everybody.
Yeah.
Like he was just a vile individual, just mean. But Ole in the 70s, I think that dude was making like $250,000 a year between booking and wrestling. $250,000 a year.
Jesus.
In the 70s.
Yeah. It's a lot of money.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of money.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
You know what I can do with $250,000 a year?
I can imagine. I'm putting my imagine. I'm like the wheels are turning now.
I'm telling you, man. I ain't making that as a teacher. I can tell you that.
Oh,
but
man.
No, but yeah. So but it's all it's all just a matter of knowing your worth and sometimes standing your ground.
Oh yeah.
And you got to jump between, and that's why I liked having more than one wrestling company. Get a chance to jump. Like Booker T went over to TNA.
Yeah.
And had success. Ron Killings, to me, he's a comedy guy now, but he used to be NWA World Champion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But right now it's WWE and was it AEW?
WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor.
All right.
I would say it'd be the Impact Wrestling. Sorry.
Impact. So TNA is not around no more.
It's Impact.
Oh, it's Impact.
Same
company. Okay, gotcha.
So those are what I call the big four. And some people say, well, Impact, RH are big companies. I don't care what you say. I say the big companies. Because they have backing. Anthem backs Impact, and then Ring of Honor is backed by Sinclair Media. Right. I think it's Sinclair. So,
And let me ask you, do you think whoever the champions was at the time, do you think they sabotaged a black champion. You know, so for example, Ric Flair, he's the guy, right? But you had this black wrestler who's got a lot of pop with the crowd, you know, but he should be a contender, but because Flair's like, well, he could take my shine as a champion, you know, they had the power to be like, nah, I don't want that guy.
But see, I think that a lot of, you know, I think a lot of guys didn't care about the belt. I think that's more fans being concerned we got the belt or not.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because I know Hogan did that a lot. Hogan used to, you know, Hogan always said, well, Vince, because Ravishing Rick Rude was supposed to wrestle him for the title, but Hogan was scared of Rick Rude because Rude beat up the Warrior backstage. So they said Hogan didn't want no part of Rude. Yeah. But Hogan was scared of him. Hogan didn't want no part of Rude. So
Hogan was scared of Lou Thesz. Lou Thesz. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Lou Thesz, he wasn't no joke.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But Hogan was scared of Lou Thesz. So I'm just like, man, I don't want to hear that foolishness. Man.
Yeah. Well, even what he did with the Undertaker, I thought that was so messed up. You heard that story, right? What he did with Taker? Not SummerSlam, but Survivor Series. He was supposed to be Hogan and Taker for the title, and Hogan stepped to Taker and was like, you know, I don't think I could take your tombstone. And Taker said, nah, you'll be safe, man. You know, I'll take care of you. He was like, yeah, but I got this neck problem and, you know, my back, and I don't know if I could take it. He said, trust me, you know, I got you. So long story short, they get to the ring, they do the match, and Taker hits Hogan with the tombstone, but he secures him where it doesn't hurt him. And when he drops him, he says he heard Hogan say, oh, brother, you got me. And Taker was like, the hell? Like, nah, man, you was okay. So Hogan laid there selling it like, oh, bro, you got me, brother. Oh, man, oh. Carried him out on the stretcher and everything, took him in the back. And I think the next night they said Taker had to drop the belt because of what he did to Hogan. Because I guess Hogan went to Vince and was like, yeah, I told him my neck was hurt. He dropped me anyway. You know, this guy's dangerous. So Vince had Taker drop the title. But then Shane and a couple other guys came to Taker and said, that's BS. We saw the tape. His head never hit the mat. And Taker said he watched it and was like, yeah, his head didn't hit the mat. So he stepped to Hogan like, brother, I thought you said I got you, man. I saw the tape. Your head was nowhere near the mat. Oh, well, you know, the way my head was between your knees, man, like it jammed my neck and I still hurt my back. So he's still, but I'm just saying, that's the kind of pull the champions have. If he went to the boss and was like, this guy's dangerous or this guy hurt me or could have hurt me, you know.
So here's the problem I would have with that.
Yeah.
Be top dog doesn't make me any difference.
Okay.
But is what you don't put money in everybody's pocket.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, your work ethic should be like you vote. It's not just about you because it's going to affect everybody.
Facts. Yeah.
It's not just about it because it's going to affect everybody. And because it's going to affect everybody,
right,
you need to look at it differently.
Yeah. That was a chump move that he did, though.
but he's not the only one to do it, man. That's like with Thunder. If Thunderbolt really was like, I'm the only nigga here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's a problem.
You
know what I'm saying? Because you stopping somebody else from feeding their family from making bread.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
So I mean,
That's true, man.
That's just foolishness.
Yeah. Well, cuz I appreciate you coming over, man. This was a dope conversation, man. Can't wait to do this again, man.
For sure.
Yeah. So I learned some things. I'm gonna go back and watch this, man. Look up some of these wrestlers, especially the sisters that you mentioned, man. I had no idea about them. So yes, we gotta do this again, man.
One more thing. Lipstick and Dynamite. If you look at that, documentary, you'll learn about some more sisters in wrestling.
Okay.
Lipstick and Dynamite.
Gotcha.
And they're on Amazon Prime too, I want to say.
Okay. I got some stuff to watch then, man. All right, so we about to end this live. So anything else you want to add real quick before we?
No, man. Hey, I just appreciate you guys coming, man. Talking the wrestling business. I love doing it, man. Still a fan to this day. So it is what it is. Join us on the next time.
No doubt. Yeah, if you missed it, it's gonna be on playback. So go back and watch it and all that good stuff. So this is Rashad G signing out. Cousin Jerome signing out. See you on the next video. Oh, I feel like my butt done went to sleep. God, oh.